We were out at night doing cat trappings in public housing blocks, and we were just literally catching cats, putting them in our car and whizzing them away. Full car loads of cats in traps. And that's how bad our problem was. And it got to this kitten, and you know, I still remember the kitten. It was the cutest little black kitten. It would have been about 4 weeks old, and it came out of a wall cavity on a building site, and it was like a beautiful little kitten, purring its little head off. And anyhow, we got it to our pound, and we knew it had no hope. We sat in the car, we rang every person we could or thought we could convince to take this kitten, and we couldn't find anyone. And yeah, it ended up, we took it in and it got put down.
Victoria, like the rest of Australia, has a cat problem. A lack of education about desexing and microchipping your cat has led to a huge population of unwanted cats that keep our shelters and rescue homes at capacity. Regulation is sparse and statistics are hard to gauge, but one thing is clear: cats are being killed at an alarming rate. Compounding the issue is the fact that 1 in 4 Victorians feeds a cat that isn't theirs. These cats are not neutered and they're breeding in public spaces, expanding the problem. The RSPCA says that in the 2017-18 financial year, of the 12,000 cats that came into their care, over 2,000 were euthanized. That sounds pretty bad, but it's actually quite a commendable number. One person that I spoke to estimates that over 13,000 cats are killed monthly in Victorian shelters. Additionally, of these cats in RSPCA care, only 5% return to their original homes. It's a complex problem, without a clear solution, but one thing experts agree on is the fact that the next step has to be targeted, and it will take teamwork from councils, the state, and the public. One place people from the public are doing their bit is at Nico HQ in Melbourne's north. Run by Maniki Nico, an organisation started by Samantha McKernan in 2012, the Nico HQ Cat Lounge offers cats and people the opportunity to interact.
The Cat Lounge here at Nico HQ is probably our main source of fundraising. So people pay a fee to spend an hour in here with the cats, relax with them, enjoy their time. So we have people that do that every week.
The money from the lounge, as well as fundraising events and donations, allows the organisation to offer discounted desexing days and run a vast network of foster homes for cats stuck in limbo.
So we have around 200 foster carers, and we have 200 to 400 cats in care at any one time. That obviously increases over the summer when we have kitten season. So one foster carer might have a mum with 4 or 5 or 6 kittens, so that volume does increase over that period of time. So we're just starting kitten season now, so at the moment we've got about 200 in care, but that will increase very, very quickly over the coming months.
McKernan and many others in the field believe that a possible way forward is a trap neuter release scheme, otherwise known as TNR. TNR takes in unowned or semi-owned cats, desexes and microchips them, then releases them back into their environment.
This will, over time, reduce the population of cats that are free roaming and in the community. And it's been proven to work. There's a number of jurisdictions in the US where this has been implemented, and over time it reduces that population of unowned cats wandering the streets.
Cats are territorial animals, and by doing this, communities can stop new, unneutered cats from entering the area and stem the flow of breeding and trapping. TNR could eliminate the problem of cats that are unsuited for adoption, taking up valuable time and space in shelters and rescue homes. However, this technique does not immediately end the threat posed to the Indigenous environment by cats. Andy Meddick, the first member of the Animal Justice Party to be elected in the Victorian Parliament, says that this must be considered and addressed before any scheme is implemented.
Certainly there will be an overall reduction in the numbers of animals in a given area, and then if you're doing that across a broader area, the same applies. It's just exponential. But there are those that would argue against that by saying, well, they're still in that situation. They are still a danger to smaller native animals, particularly native marsupials, the small, like the marsupial rats and those sorts of animals.
TNR is currently illegal in every state in Australia. However, by taking the right precautions, councils can implement parts of the theory.
We have about 5,700 cats currently registered at Banyule. What we've got coming into the pound now is a minimal amount really compared to what we used to. and an example of that is 2010-11, we had just over 1,000 cats going into the pound, cats and kittens, and we've been running a free desexing program since 2013 for our residents, and we've been able to minimise that to last financial year was 141 cats.
To begin with, Jenny and her team focused on a small area.
The area that we targeted in particular first off for our first couple of desexing programs is a low socioeconomic area. So really people just, it wasn't their first priority to have their cats desexed, really, for their finances.
Jenny's work has been nationally recognised, and she says it's all about getting out into the community and talking to people.
Oh, these your cats? Well, how long have you been feeding them? How many have you really got? No, you're not in trouble. And really having a conversation rather than coming from an enforcement approach, whereas you've got 3 cats, we're going to fine you for those 3 cats. Are they desexed? Are they microchipped? Do you want them done? Do you know anyone else who's got cats that actually want their cats desexed? Have you got any litters? We'll desex your litters as well if you've got them. So it's about finding them that way, and also just wandering the streets really and talking to people.
If you're interested in learning more about TNR, or any other ways to limit the euthanisation of cats in Australia, a great place to start is the Getting to Zero website.